I I really do not trust him, especially not
So
after he
what is
hasn't.
a year of supervised visitation? How is that going to change that?
For me, I feel like it would give me that consistency to know that he's capable of being in my son's life.
Okay, so it sounds like he doesn't come visiting.
Mhm.
So it's probably not going to change. He's probably not going to come visiting. If he does, that's a good thing. If he doesn't, we're still in the same spot, right?
Mhm.
Welcome back to Family Court Drama. In today's episode, we're diving into an intense child support hearing. The state is requesting the court to order the father to pay $491 in child support and $150 in cash medical support. Additionally, they are pushing for 12 months of supervised visitation before considering any standard visitation. Meanwhile, the mother insists that all of the father's visits should be supervised indefinitely. She claims the father may pose a danger, citing an incident where he allegedly threw his soda at her while she was putting their child in the car. Let's see how the judge rules in this heated case.
Nothing but the truth. Ms. Reyes,
Yes.
Mr. Carlos,
Yes.
you may both lower your hands, and Mr. Leach, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. I'd first like to do service on the record for the mother, Ms. Reyes.
You may.
Ms. Reyes, could you please state your full name?
Caitlin Cielo Reyes.
And you had not been served a copy of the state's pleadings before this morning, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you receive a copy of the state's pleadings in this matter via email this morning?
Yes.
And do you understand that you have the right to be personally served with that document by a process server at your residence?
Yes.
And are you agreeing to waive your right to personal service and enter your appearance in the case today?
Yes.
Judge, I pass the witness and please let the record and Odyssey reflect that Ms. Reyes has waived her right to personal service and entered her appearance.
The record will so reflect.
Thank you, Judge. We are here on the state's petition and suit affecting the parent-child relationship. Both parties have now been served. Parties are not in agreement regarding the issues of medical insurance and retroactive child support. I do have a proposed order from the state, if I may state those terms and take testimony from the parties.
You may.
There's one child before the court, J.C. Carlos, born May 11th, 2021. I offer in evidence what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit A, the acknowledgement of paternity for J.C. Carlos attached to the state's petition filed June 12th, 2024.
States A is admitted.
Uh, Parties will be appointed joint managing conservators of the child, with the mother being the conservator with exclusive right to determine the child's primary residence in Dallas or any contiguous counties. Parties have agreed to a modified possession and access schedule with 36 periods of modified possession on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., supervised by mother's grandmother at the La Madeleine at North Park Mall. After the 36 periods of possession, it will go to a standard possession and access order.
Mr. Leach,
Yes, Judge.
when is it Tuesday? From what?
Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
And 36 visits? How many
Yes,
months is
Judge.
that?
12 months.
And how old is this child?
This child is 3 years old.
No, sir. Okay, but go ahead.
Okay. Mother will be ordered to maintain the child on government-assisted medical insurance. Father will be ordered to pay cash medical support of $150 per month beginning September 1st, 2024. Father will be required to pay guideline child support of $491 per month beginning September 1st, 2024. This order contains a retroactive child support judgment against the father in the amount of $17,867 as of August 12th, 2024. That judgment will be payable at $140 per month beginning September 1st, 2024. Court costs will be billed to Mr. Carlos, and there was not a request for a finding of family violence or a request for non-disclosure, and that is the extent of the order, if I may recall the parties.
What was the judgment amount?
Judgment was $17,867.
And child support amount was $491 per month?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. You may call your first witness.
I'll begin with the mother, Ms. Reyes. Did you hear the terms of the order stated to the court?
Yes.
Do you understand those terms?
Yes.
Are you in agreement with the terms and believe that they are in the best interest of your child?
Yes.
And how is your son currently covered with medical insurance?
Through Medicaid, through the state. He's been like that for since he was born.
Okay. And were you and Mr. Carlos previously living together?
We did up until 3 weeks after my son was born when we had an incident. It's all in a police report where he threw a bassinet at his son's head.
So there have been incidents of family violence between you and Mr. Carlos in the
Yes,
past.
and even prior to that, our whole entire relationship, I have videos, pictures, a lot of police reports of it.
And just for the past 2 years, have there been any incidents of family violence?
Yes, I want to say it was I looked up the actual date, the picture that I have of it. We went to a corner bakery in 2023 of February. And I had offered him to see his son. We went to the corner bakery. He got very aggressive. I had told him this visit is now over. I could tell where he was headed. So I just went ahead. I said, let's say our goodbyes, picked up my son. When I was putting my son in his car seat, he threw his soda that he got from inside the corner bakery. He followed us out and then threw it at me while I was putting up my son in there. I have pictures of the aftermath.
Did the soda hit you?
Yes, a little bit. Majority of it got the front of my car. I was still able to take a picture of the ice that was sitting on one of my windows.
And this was the only instance in the past 2 years?
In the past 2 years. Yes, because we had separated by then, and even on the times that he would see his son, it was always in public, and it was in a park, and it was very rarely.
And regarding the retroactive child support judgment, has Mr. Carlos given you any money for the benefit of your child since you separated?
One time it was $300, and it was I don't remember the date. It could have been like a year and a half ago. I don't remember even it happening, but I know he sent me that some type of money. I just didn't remember.
And the retroactive child support judgment in the amount of $17,867 does include the $300 credit for the previous payment from Mr. Carlos to you. And has Mr. Carlos ever had any, has your son ever had any overnight visits with Mr. Carlos?
No.
I passed the witness, if I can call the father.
You may.
Mr. Carlos, did you hear the terms of the order stated to the court?
Yes.
And do you understand those terms?
Yes.
And are you in agreement with those terms other than the terms of health insurance and retroactive child support?
Yes.
How is your son currently covered with medical insurance?
I'm not sure. I just know he's under my medical insurance.
And you have medical insurance offered through your employer,
Yes.
and your son is currently on your insurance plan.
Hmm.
And how much per month is it costing you to have your son on your insurance plan?
I think monthly, maybe 200 to 300.
And that's just for your son?
That's that's just what's being taken out of my check. I'm not sure what's going where.
Mr.
And
Carlos, who's covered on that insurance?
Me and my son.
Just you and your son?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You don't know what it would be for you if your son wasn't included?
I do not.
How long has your son been on that insurance?
Maybe about 2 years.
Okay. Have you ever given his mother a card?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever tell her he was on that insurance?
Yes, I signed it in front of her with his name on it.
Okay. You may proceed, Mr. Leach.
And Mr. Carlos, when did you and Miss Reyes separate?
We separated February, around February, March of 2022, after we visited my mom in Kansas City.
And did you ever pay Miss Reyes any money directly for the benefit of your child?
Only the $300.
Yeah. And you do not agree to the child support judgment amount, correct?
No, sir.
And what would you request that the court set the retroactive child support judgment at?
For the months that we've been living, I would request $3,000 or $5,000 off the 17.
Off of the 17?
Yes.
So that would put it around 14, about 14,000, 15,000
Yeah.
is the number you would request.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And Mr. Carlos, in the past 2 years, have there been any incidents of family violence between you and Mrs. Reyes?
Past 2 years?
Yes.
None documented, but there was one incident in Kansas City with my family and her, and past 2 years, I think that's the only one.
In Kansas City, was there any physical violence? What happened in Kansas City?
She got upset and wanted to take my son from Kansas City back down here without my mom, because my mom was at work, and I told her just when she gets back, we can leave. So she threw a fit and she started. We have videos, and she was yelling, cussing at my siblings, and saying she was gonna beat my mom up. So then she calls the cops, and the cops came, and they said, since the son is here with the dad and he's safe, you're gonna have to leave. And then she didn't leave. She pretended to leave, so the cops left. And then she called her mom, and then her mom flew to Kansas City. And then I just let them take my son. And then they came back to Texas together.
And Mr. Carlos, since you and Miss Reyes separated, has your son had spent any overnight visits with you?
No.
Okay. I pass the witness, Judge.
What is the period for the retroactive child support judgment? What dates do you have?
The date is June 7th of 2021 until June 12th of 2024.
And Mr. Carlos, you say y'all separated in February of 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you say y'all separated in February of 2022, did that mean y'all stopped being boyfriend and girlfriend, or y'all stopped living together?
Well,
Both?
yes, ma'am.
So y'all lived together until February of 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Miss Reyes,
Yes, ma'am.
you say y'all separated in June of 2021.
Yes, ma'am. We did. I'm so sorry. We did. I moved in with my mom. CPS was involved. I had to sign a safety plan because he was not allowed to be with JC. I have pictures of my son sleeping. I used to take pictures of my son almost every night, and you can clearly see that he's sleeping at my mom's house where I moved to, 814 Miranda Drive. I don't we did go to Kansas City together, but that was because they had not yet met my son. And that was a whole nother incident in 2022 in February. We were not together. I was actively seeking out other people. I was not with him. I did not want to be with him.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. I got it. I got it. Okay. So this is my rule, and I'll accept the agreed portions of the order so far as there is an agreement, except for the visitation. I'm going to do modified visitation. It's going to be supervised for the first 3 months at the Lamatlin at North Park. Is that what you guys picked?
yes, I'm
The next 3 months, it'll be unsupervised, but no overnights. And then it'll go to standard.
I'm just
Medical support, hold on one second. Medical support will be through dad's to cover through his employer. Did you get all of that, Mr. Leach?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Ma'am, you have a question.
um as far as visitation, I really am concerned for my son's safety. Um especially with our past and especially with him. He refuses to text me back when I have offered him to see his son. I've even offered to give him gas money so that he can see his son because he used to tell me that he didn't have the money for it. And so I used to say, we can go wherever you want to go. We'll meet you at a park. We'll meet you wherever. If we have to meet up to eat somewhere, I can pay for it. It's never been a problem. He lost all contact with me back in December. And then even prior to that, I have videos of him saying that he's not afraid of going to prison for killing me and my son. I I really do not trust him, especially not after
So
he
what is a
has.
year of supervised visitation? How is that going to change that?
For me, I feel like it would give me that consistency to know that he's capable of being in my son's life.
Okay, so it sounds like he doesn't come visiting. So it's probably not going to change. He's probably not going to come visiting. If he does, that's a good thing. If he doesn't, we're still in the same spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
He will never get to a place where he has a relationship with your child on his own if you continue to always want to hold his hand. He has to do it on his own. So we're going to let your grandmother supervise
Mm-hmm.
for 3 months. Okay. He has to exercise those visitations for those 3 months. If he doesn't exercise it, his 3 months just keeps getting pushed down the road.
Okay.
Okay.
And then is there any way my son can stay on Medicaid? He's already set up with his pediatrician since he was a
No, ma'am.
baby.
The whole point of the child support, one of the points of the child support program is to get people off of Medicaid. State of Texas
Okay.
doesn't have any children. They want parents to provide for their children themselves.
Okay. And then and he'll have to provide me with all that information.
He has to give you the insurance cards.
Okay.
The order will tell you how many days he has to give those cards to you.
Okay.
If he stops covering the child, then he's 100% responsible for the child's medical bills.
Okay.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Leach?
Nothing further from the state, Judge.
Any questions from you, Mr.
Oh,
Carlos? All
So
right.
the 3 months supervised.
Yes.
So after that, that means I could hang out with him without any supervision.
Then you go to 3 months, no supervision, but you have to do a solid 3 months of visitation.
Of course.
And then after that, it goes to standard. This is your opportunity, Mr. Carlos, to show us you're going to be a responsible parent, that you're going to do the
Sure.
right thing by your child, and you're not going to let your feelings about other people affect how you relate to him. Okay?
Thank you.
And sorry, Judge, what was the ruling on the retro judgment?
Oh, the retroactive child support judgment is $17,867,
Okay.
paid at $140 per month.
Thank you, Judge. That's it.
Okay. Anything further? Now, that's my ruling. If either one of you if you do not like my ruling, if you think it's unfair or you just don't agree to it, you have 3 days to appeal it, 30 days to file a motion for new trial. This case is out of the 256th District Court. That is Judge Sandra Streeter. And she might have a different opinion from me. Okay? Any questions?
So when I visit my son with supervision with his grandma, the only thing I don't want is his mother to be there because we just do not get along. So if
The
she shows up,
supervisor is your mother, ma'am, or
It's my grandmother.
your grandmother? Okay. Do you get along with her grandmother?
He's never met her.
yeah, I've met her once.
Okay.
You've met my mom's mom. You haven't met my dad's mom.
Oh, okay.
Well, grandmother should not interfere with his visitation with his son. She can sit on the side of the restaurant and just observe. Okay. And Mr. Carlos, that means you don't take him out of her sight or anything of that nature. Okay. All right.
Oh, I do have a question. I'm so sorry. I've been texting him for a couple months now. He hasn't responded, but my son has future plans in September to go and travel, and we need to get him a passport. I was told that he needed to sign the passport as well because he's the other parent and we can't just be taking my son anywhere. How does that work? Now
There
that
are
he's
no
here,
orders. I haven't ordered anything according to passport, so you have to go by whatever the passport office tells you. That if it was going to be addressed in this order, it should have been addressed before I made my ruling.
okay.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, thank you both for appearing here today. Good luck to both of you, and you're both free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that wraps up this case. The judge has ruled that the father must pay $491 in child support. Regarding visitation, the court ordered 3 months of supervised visits, followed by 3 months of unsupervised visits without overnights. If all goes well, the father will then be granted standard visitation, including overnight stays. What do you think about this decision? Should the father have to go through these steps just to get standard visitation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more family court drama.